I will be with you in a few minutes, please. Let's get others to join us so that within the next 5 minutes, I will be able to carry out the reflections with you people. Thank you for your understanding. I will begin in 1 minute, please. My dear people of Ambazonia, fellow nationalists, not the type of nationalism being espoused by Donald J. Trump, but the nationalism that is needed to free a people who finds themselves in bondage for more than half a century. I won't call you citizens because in reality, we do not have a country at the moment. That is why I address each one of you as fellow nationalists, for that is exactly who you are. I know there are others who are watching me who are not nationalists, who still believe in the archaic principles of federation that has not just failed our people, but has led us to where we are today. And there are even others within us who call themselves centrist. But this is a normal path you find in any liberation struggle. I have decided that I won't come online to speak to you people, but I will stay behind and quietly do my job. What I know Jehovah Elohim has asked me to do from the very conception, the very day I was conceived and born into this world. To do the job I know I have to do diligently, without pride, without seeking for popularity. The type of things I know are needed to be done quietly, behind the scene. That will help push this liberation struggle to its final throttle. Yes, I have not been silent. I might have been offline, for this is not my home, this is not my place. I do not want to make myself a weakling by calling on the weaker angels of our people to stand by me. I prefer to sacrifice, as the oath of the struggle says, as if the whole issue depends on me alone. This has been a very difficult period to each one of you, my people. But this is the first thing I want to say. Just of recent, a video was released from the beautiful land of Pini. And the moment that video was released, I was airbound, traveling out to do the normal job that I do for the struggle. At the time the plane landed, and I was able to be hooked up to the internet, there were flows of information from all over the world on that video. And I have to take a quick decision. Without discussing the nitty-gritty of the issues, there is one thing I want to say to each son and daughter of Pini. As the leader of the African People's Liberation Movement, and as the Commander-in-Chief of the Southern Cameroon Defense Force, I want to hereby offer my unreserved apology to each one of you who might have been hurt because of that video. This is not the modus operandi of SOCADEF, but we should all understand that the nature of our struggle has curves and bends. To those of you who were arrested, whose hands were tied, and who felt humiliated during this process, I give my unreserved apology to you. Leadership is not only when things go well. Leadership is when you are able to take responsibility for things that are not done directly by you or through your own command, but that are done under your auspices. I cannot turn my back away from an action that was totally deemed unacceptable, carried out by a commander of SOCADEF in the field. I will not turn my back away from that. I will have to accept my responsibility as the leader of SOCADEF. I am deeply sorry for what happened. And I hope you will understand from where I'm coming from. However, this issue has been passed over to the Revolutionary High Command Council of SOCADEF to look into it and to make sure that never again should such an action, totally out of the modus operandi of SOCADEF, unacceptable under international law, should take place. This apology is not meant because of the complaints that came in. It is because at no time should we arrest our own men and women who are sacrificing their lives, even those who are not fighting, and hurriedly make a video and throw it out there. It is not our duty to humiliate one another. That does not augur well. That is not self-defense, it's self-destruction. I have criticized this more than a year ago. I have criticized every defense group that have carried out activities of this nature. And I will not turn a blind eye if my own SOCADEF starts getting involved in these types of activities that I call acts of insanity. We, as a people, as leaders who command defense forces, must do whatever it takes to stop this madness. However, there is a sad note that is born out of a good note. Yesterday, I learned of the passing away of General Amigo and 3 of his men. When I got this news from Mama Ambazonia, the first thing I did was to reach out to one of the leaders who command that area of the ASC to find out exactly what happened. I was reliably informed that General Amigo went for the funeral of his mother-in-law. Despite that, he has placed security all over the place. An insider tipped the terrorists of La République du Cameroun, who came in through the bushes, surrounded the area, and began opening fire. In the course of it, La République lost 2 of its terrorists. General Amigo and 2 others succumbed to their wounds. 1 of our gallant force was wounded, and 1 successfully escaped back to the camp. This information I give to you does not come from the social media. It comes from the leader of the ASC in that area. There is no amount of sympathy that I will extend to Amigo, the ASC, and all our defense forces here at this moment that will sum up the callousness, the madness that has been going on in this struggle for quite some time on ground zero. The malaria that has affected the diaspora has become a typhoid on ground zero to our forces. And we must stop that and stop it now. I never knew Amigo. But the first time I spoke to General Amigo was the very day that a death sentence was passed on General Aruke. I was contacted by more than 50 individuals to intervene. I got Amigo's phone number from the head of the ASC, gave him a call. I spoke to Amigo as a senior brother, as a commander-in-chief, as a leader. I didn't shout him down. I was not interested to find out who was wrong or who was right. I had one objective: to save the life of General Aruke and to make sure that the planned execution for that day should not take place. And for that, I thank the Almighty God for making it to come to pass. Amigo was not a perfect guy, but he was a good guy. A gallant fighter who has his own faults. In the same regard with General Aruke. But what I discovered during this process was that The problems that are imbued from ground zero come from abroad, come from the diaspora. If General Aruke was executed, it wouldn't have been because Amigo was bloodthirsty with all the other generals of ASC. It was because many of you, people of good thinking, decided to forget about the sacrifices of these young men who have put everything on the line to fight for each one of us to have a more better tomorrow. It is unacceptable that you pick up your phone and send threats at a time when the life of another individual is at stake. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable that when you know you have no part to play in self-defense, you turn to the social media and take these issues for granted. It is unacceptable. And these issues of General Amigo, I want to make it categorically clear here. I am sending the last caution to Comrade Capo Daniel. I am doing this openly because I am tired of this awkward attitude that our people have decided to imbue in this struggle. It is unacceptable that if Comrade Capo Daniel comes from the Bello area because he disagrees with Chris Bongam, he will prefer to paint Chris Bongam without any investigation. We cannot allow this type of madness to continue in this struggle. And this is why I have wholeheartedly condemned this whole process of county by county. My people, I have warned against county by county, and I still want to repeat it now. This is a dangerous slippery slope. And we, each one of us, are seeing the attributes of this madness. How could an individual or group of individuals decide to create a policy that deals with the life of almost 8.5 million people simply because you say you need county by county in order to shun away Comrade Lucas Cho Ayaba from the ground? How could you make a policy based on an individual rather than a policy based on saving the homeland? Where are we going with this madness? How could you make a policy because you are bent on making sure that SOCADEF, Tiger, ADF, and all other individual self-defense groups could be frozen out of the struggle, not for the benefit of the homeland, because you think they are individuals that is the best way to go forward to eliminate them. No, you can't do that. Every policy any one of us is supposed to do, we should think first about that homeland called the Southern Cameroon, called Ambazonia. I cannot sit here and make a policy based on the idea of eliminating Mola Sako, eliminating Lucas Cho Ayaba, eliminating Boo Herbert, eliminating John Ba Akuru, Elvis Kometa, Edwin Gang, and all others who pass around for leaders. That will be absolute insanity. I can only make a policy when I have to look from every angle on how beneficial it will be for the homeland. That is why we call it a liberation struggle. We are not here to take power in Yaoundé. We are here to free ourselves. And though we all know that it will have curves and bends, but why are we increasing the bends and the curves? Why are we doing this? Our failure to listen, our failure to play grandstanding, that every action we take should be on Facebook, every activity we take should be out there, does not augur well for this struggle. Tomorrow, I will be 48 years old on November 18. For the last 34 years, the last 2.5 have been the worst in my entire involvement in this struggle. We have reached a level where people send out information, and when they are called out, then they do investigation. I do not know what we as individuals benefit when we continue to dig deeper into the wounds of the people of Ambazonia. Every individual, every family, every village, every tribe, every ethnic group within us have suffered directly or indirectly in this struggle. You might not know that the energetic young warrior who was brutally murdered at Bafmen, his head cut off, his right leg cut off, his left hand cut off, his private cut off and taken away, that is my brother-in-law's son. And as I speak to you, his corpse have not yet been laid to rest. But even in the course of this monstrosity, it didn't stop me. Neither did it stop my wife, Mama Ambazonia, from continuing the things she has been doing in this struggle for more than 25 years now. I can't whip you. I can't hold a gun on your head. I can only tell you the truth. You might not like it, but if you don't listen now, you'll be compelled to listen tomorrow. I have never said anything which has not come to pass, because I am very, very careful in every word that comes out of my mouth. For the Bible says, what defiles man is not what goes in, but what comes out. I do not only think, I pray fervently before I speak out. This struggle is ours to lose. It is not La Republique, it's ours. I repeat, this struggle is ours to lose. If there is a problem somewhere, it is important for an individual to say, no, we are not happy with it. When a nationalist from Pini tells me to send away Colonel Diamond because he doesn't come from Pini, how does that sound in this struggle? It is the right of the Pinin people to support self-defense. But you cannot come to Pinin land knowing fully well that there is the existence of a self-defense group, Sokadef. Rather than you walk hand in hand with them to make sure that Pinin can be protected, you decide to create a parallel self-defense group. That is a replica for disaster. And that is what we have seen all over the place. Why should we have 4 or 5 self-defense groups in Bello? Why? What competition are we fighting for? The whole Ambazonia is a very large piece of land. If people are so angry and want to fight, we have taken away Furawa. Go and join Sokadef in Furawa, so that we can begin what we call invasional liberation strategy to kick these guys out of our land. If there is any competition we should have, it is on how fast we can move, not to that physical. but to that symbolic boya which is called freedom. Yes, we are responsible for our own shortcomings, not La République du Cameroun. Because we are good in throwing blames. Oh, they have sent spies among us. They have done this, they have done that. Why have those spies not easily penetrated Sokadef? Why? Why did not easily penetrate Sokadef? As you make your bed, so shall you lie on it. There is a popular African saying that if you make yourself a ripe banana, monkey will eat you. When you open the doors for chaos, individuals take decision on the homeland as if it belongs to them, without any reflection on the consequences. Then you open the doors for the terrorists. I speak to every commander on the ground. No matter where you belong, I speak to them. And those commanders relate to me because I do not boss them. I lead them. When you become a boss, you lose the ability to reflect positively on the goodness of this struggle. Commanders do not judge me whether I belong to Sokadef. They listen. They relate. I feel their pinch. I feel their hardship. I feel their suffering. But we have made things more complicated and harder for them. We have technically added 2.5 years into this struggle. 2.5 years of cleanup. And if we are not careful, we might add a decade, 10 more years, before it really becomes worse. As long as we make the Ambazonian struggle a punching bag, and each one of us is seeking for glory rather than freedom, we will be shooting ourselves on the foot, not the enemy. I am out doing the job I do best. I'm speaking to you from the confines of where I'm lodging. Prepared to go out at this moment for a very historic meeting. That even on my own birthday, which is tomorrow, I will be attending one of the most important meetings on how to change the particular wind that is blowing in this struggle. Because I cannot sit idly by and claim to have a birthday feast when my moms and dads, my brothers and sisters, my sons and daughters, my cousins, my nephews, my uncles, my nieces, my own people are in the bushes. Some unable to have a pint of water to drink. I cannot celebrate a birthday when it is very clear to my knowledge that our men and women who have been arrested and locked up do not even have lawyers. Yet we are moving around and collecting money. Who are we defending? How could we be able to raise funds to defend Comrade Tassan, Ayok, and the others? Yet we forget those who are in Kondengi, those who are in the central prison in Yaoundé, those in the principal prison in Yaoundé, those in New Bel prison, those in Bafoussam prison, those in Bamenda prison. How could we develop elitism when it comes to the defense of our own people? What exactly is wrong with us? What makes those who are locked up in said more important than those who are locked up in Kondengi? Some of them who were even just fighting on the ground to make this struggle to be where it is. What makes those others important than these ones? What is wrong with us? We are raising funds, and we know very well that those who were picked up from Naira Hotel, who formed the bone of part of our leadership, they are facing a more political trial than even those who are in Kondengi and New Bell and others. Yet we tend to shun them away. That even when I am out of my homeland, struggling to negotiate to have a country to accept us as a people, our detainees will not allow my phone to rest, begging me to look for them, lawyers to defend them. Where are our lawyers? Where are they? They can come to Canada and speak so well. Where are all these lawyers? Where are they? This is the time that we need them. They don't need money from us. This is their own sacrifice. It is unacceptable. You cannot raise funds to pay for the defense of Tassan Wilfred and the others, and then you abandon the other detainees. And you don't only abandon them. We begin to fight ourselves and pass this to the defense forces. And yet we are praying every day. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. we'll have our big Bibles here in our armpit. We are going to church. We are praying to God. What did Christ say? What did Christ told us about those in detention? Who exactly is our God? We have become Pharisees and Sadducees in the house of God. Preachers who have become liars. Most of our men of God are those who are fanning hatred, division, and all types of antagonism among us here on Facebook, WhatsApp, and everywhere. And they call themselves pastors, evangelists, and all whatnot. You will hear them say behind these graphic people, women of God, men of God, these Bakore people. So how do you expect God to listen to you? How do you expect God to listen to our people collectively? As long as there is county by county, the chaos on ground zero will continue. I have asked that you stop this madness. Stop this policy. I am not worried about those who go online to insult and the rest. That is the best they can do because they have nothing to offer. We will not prosecute this struggle on county by county. I said it before and I'm repeating it again. If you have no business in self-defense, take yourself out of it. If your job is just to finance it, do that. Let me say the last thing, and this is for the forces on the ground. There are some of you, our own forces, who have begun indulging in acts that I can call crimes, war crimes. I'm saying this in the open. There are some of you on ground zero. I know you, I know your names, I know where you are commanding. I know each one of you. Some of you are within the Muyuka Ekona estuary. You have not only sent letters to our people around my 16 and Bomaka, aided by a son of my 16. My own senior brother has not been living in his house now for close to a month. My own direct brother has to pay ransom to some of you people. You have become a nightmare to this struggle. And by so doing, you help people like Satan incarnate at Tanganji to create their own self-defense groups and claim their Amber Boys because of the atrocity some of you people are committing. Let me assure you people of one thing. you will all go to the Hague. Not me, Akwanga. I will not take responsibility for your madness. Whether you belong to which of the self-defense groups, you will pay the price for it. I am taking stock because at the right time, you will each answer for the crimes you are committing. For attacking your own people, for molesting your own people. You have turned your eyes away against the enemy and you have decided to turn the guns on your own people. You have become bandits, you have become armed robbers, you have become thieves. You must stop that and stop it now. You steal from our people and you are building houses? Are you mad? You bring women to the camp and turn those fighters to become sexual balloons? How could you be in a camp fighting and you spend your time getting the girls pregnant? And definitely you are raping them. It's not consensual. Because they are scared of the gun. You force yourself upon them. And they are pregnant. You don't have hospitals. Where will they deliver those children? You don't have nurses. Most have been killed by La République. Have you lost your mind? You can all now understand. You can now begin to understand why I have been cautioning for a very long time. And many people misquoted me, misrepresented me, and misunderstood me, and thought it was a fight for power. I said the power I have comes from God, not from man. I just want us to do it diligently. Not perfectly, but right. Because we cannot be perfect. We are not God. You have your brothers on ground zero. You raise 5,000 in the US. You raise 5,000 in the UK. And then you send to them to form a self-defense group. Because you two want to claim that you are fighting on the ground. The moment you no longer have money to send to them, they become armed robbers and bandits. And then they become the responsibility of myself. Trying to find a way to solve it. I have intervened in series of cases of kidnapping. Thank God, every time I intervene, those that have taken hostage are released. But is that the type of job I should be doing? Is that what we should be doing? How many La République senior officers have we taken? How many have you taken and held to use tomorrow as prisoners of war? You become experts in taking your own brothers you are fighting with? You tie them, you chain them, you make videos. And then you have all these charlatans and misfits. They call themselves social critics. They don't even know what they are supposed to say online and what they are not supposed to say. They go out there, they start acting as if they are competing with CRU TV. Or they are competing with Fox News in the US. They say anything. They don't even care the consequences on the struggle. There are many of you who are still alive and surviving out of this madness because you are being protected by the laws where you are. You will not do some of these things in Africa. Oh yes, somebody should not blame me. I know what Africa is all about. Because if you don't stop this madness, you will be doing more harm to this struggle. I have cautioned some of you behind. It seems as if it's not entering. I'm cautioning you now in public. If you don't listen, I will no longer caution you. I will act. I don't talk, I act. I don't threaten any individual in this struggle. These are the same words I told my brother, Simon Munzo, that I will not threaten you not to go to Boya. But I know what I will do to make sure you don't go to Boya. I don't throw threats. This is war. If I want to do something, I do it, I don't talk. The people will only listen. They will only hear it has happened. That is what you do. You don't go out and start sending threats to everybody. That is cowardice. That is cowardice. I've spoken for long. It's important that I leave you now. And let me go out and work for you. The only thing I ask from you now is to pray for me. Go down on your knees and pray wherever I am, that what I am doing succeeds. Because beginning today and the week coming is going to be momentous. It is going to be a build or break. But don't expect videos or pictures. Not from me. If you see any, it will surely be something that has been sneaked out of it. This is no time for a propaganda contest. This is time for work. We must work for our homeland. We must work diligently for our homeland. And we must always understand that we are not a perfect people. But if we do not learn from our mistakes, then we become responsible for committing no longer mistakes, but willful acts. Let every man, every woman do their own little bit so that collectively we can free ourselves and free our homeland. That is the way we must operate. It is important that we do that. For without that, it will be difficult for us to operate. We must operate under that tenet because that is needed in this struggle at this time. My doors are open 24 hours for any individual or commander on ground zero who intends to reach me. But you must do the right thing. You must do the right thing. From 7 Qatar in Bafut to the reverence of Sokadev, each one of you, to the forces in Munyenge, those who are Indian, who are communicating with me now, to the great forces in Furawa, to each one of you, even those who were betrayed by the Fulanis and slaughtered like cows. You don't take your revenge on cows. You go after those who are responsible for killing your own, for betraying your own. For during the time of the Holocaust, it wasn't just Hitler, it was every German who was responsible. That is what we collectively have to do. I am doing my own little best. Ask yourself, what exactly are you doing? You must give in to greed. You must give in to personality cult. And you must sacrifice as if the issue of this struggle depended solely on you. I will end by repeating that oath. And if there is any one of you who is watching me, you have to repeat the oath after me. To renew your spirit in this struggle. And to equally let you know that despite all the madness that has been going, we have been achieving great strides. But we will only let those strides out there when we think they are ripe for us to consume. Southern Cameroon must win this war. Therefore, I will walk. I will save. I will serve. I will sacrifice. I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost, even unto death, as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. So, help me God. Do not give up. Despite all the madness that is ongoing, I can assure you that brighter days are about to come. I do not say this lightly. I do not say this for propaganda purposes. I say this because I am involved in trying to do something big. Not for me. For you, for me, for all of us. There are brighter days ahead. And there are others among us who are quietly also doing their own part of it. They are not talking. But you will see when the food becomes ready for us to consume. Remain steadfast. more dedicated and more committed. That every time there is a move that is not positive, call for your better angels to do something. Every time you see some madness, say, it is not coming from me. I will continue to do my own. Do your utmost. I might not be watching you. Mama Ambazonia might not be watching you. Comrade Aunt Janet might not be watching you. All the other comrades might not see what you are doing. But there is a living God who is watching your heart, watching your every movement, reading your thoughts, and he's walking with you or walking without you. So if you do it diligently, he will walk with you. If not, you become the companion of Lucifer. Decide today where you belong. As Joshua said in the Bible, as for me and my family, it is total independence or death. Decide where you belong. When you make that informed decision, you will be worried when you see things not moving well, but you will not be so broken and shattered that you will say, I've had enough of this struggle. You cannot have enough, because until homeland is free, we are all in this together. No man can escape out of it. Even those who are traitors among us, there is no pathway to freedom for them without each one of us getting into that freedom and benefiting from it. We must be each other's keeper. As angry as we are, and rightfully so, we must be each other's keeper. But if it necessitates you to eliminate someone for the greater good of the survival of this struggle, do so knowing that God is with you. The Bible teaches us that there were times of peril when God decided that a certain category of people do not deserve his love, do not deserve life, because they were a stumbling block to what he has earmarked for mankind. That is what you should do. Don't ask my opinion. Don't go to Facebook. Do it, but make sure your conscience tells you what you are doing is the right thing. Thank you. And may God continue to look kindly upon us. And may God save the Southern Cameroons. I love you all.